It's time for Dodger Baseball.
What's going on, Dodgers Nation? Welcome to the Dodgers Nation post-game show. I'm your host, Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. The Dodgers get the dub again. The Dodgers take the first two from the Mets. They're supposed to be the second-best team in the National League. They came in this series very, very hot. The Mets had just been hitting the cover off the baseball on this Dodgers starting rotation between Tony Gonsolin and Tyler Anderson. They've shown why they've been the top two starters for the Dodgers all season long. The story again tonight was Tyler Anderson. You know, I call him Tyler, the outs creator, and he did that again. You see him extend that scoreless inning streak to 26 innings, and we're going to break it all down. We're going to talk about Cody Bellinger going deep. Zach McKinstry goes deep. Also, Chris Taylor, he gets a home run as well. We're going to break this entire game down and give you my key takeaways. But first, what are your big takeaways from tonight's Dodger game? Also, who's your player of the game? Let me know down below. I like that Iris K. Tyler Bulldog Anderson. Hey, you see Tyler Anderson, he just continues to put up zeros. He continues to keep hitters off balance. You see them speeding him up. You see them speeding him up just to slow him down. He's using that changeup, bottom of the zone. We're going to break down his entire outing because I have a lot to say when it comes to Tyler Anderson because he's been absolutely fantastic heading into today. You see his numbers, a sub-3 ERA, a career-high strikeout rate, a career-low walk rate. Anderson has put it all together, and do you think that's a coincidence? I don't, because you have Connor McGinnis and Mark Pryor. These guys, they can fix anything, but we're going to break it all down. Doing the Friday show, Joseph Megazzini. Yeah, we're going to try to do 4 shows a week from here on out. I've been pretty busy lately doing some other stuff, Dodgers-related, of course, knocking out some video projects and all kinds of stuff, but of course, this is the top priority. But yeah, guys, it's gonna be big. And by the way, what do you guys think about that? I want all your thoughts on tonight's game. Who's your player of the game? What are your thoughts on Tyler, the outs creator Anderson? I call him Tandy. He pitched another dandy tonight. And you saw tonight, goes 6 innings, gives up no runs, just 3 hits, had 5 punch outs, 81 pitches, 57 for strikes, 14 for 21 on first pitch strikes. You saw 14 swings and misses, and really, he's just getting the job done. He gets the timely strikeout. You saw what he's able to do. He'll give you the 1-2-3 inning like we saw in the first inning, and then also even the top of the third gives up that leadoff single to Escobar, and then he gets McNeil to pop to short, and then he gets Nemo to fly out. So I think that you saw him induce soft contact, get that key double play. So he's been really just fantastic. But here we go. We got Anderson, Joseph Megazzini, Anderson player of the game. Got to give Belli some credit as well. Yeah, I think Cody Bellinger saw today. Look, I mean, I think one of my big takeaways from tonight's game is Edwin Rios, he goes on the IL, and he's going to miss some significant time because that's a serious hamstring injury. Got the muscle falling off the bone there. And Edwin Rios, he was a bopper. You saw a home run basically every 12 at-bats. He can bring the thunder, of course, not against lefties, but against righties, and he provides that pop. But with him out, also Max Muncie hasn't looked himself this season. We've talked about that ad nauseum. You're going to need some left-handed bats to continue to step up. Also, Freddie Freeman is currently riding a little bit of a slump right now, so to have Zach McKinstry go deep, to have Cody Bellinger go deep, that's very promising for this Dodgers offense that all of a sudden doesn't look as long as it did earlier in the year. It's kind of a big 3 with Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, and Trey Turner. But I think from top to bottom, of course, Justin Turner, he's kind of gotten it going as well. But I think having Cody Bellinger, if he can get it going more consistently, it's going to bode well for this Dodgers offense. But here we go. Hader, likely Cy Young from King Yellowman. Look, he's having a good year, but you have to have a really, really good year. Eric Gagne-esque year, 84 straight consecutive saves going to 2 seasons to win the Cy Young. But here we go. T3100 does it again. I like that. T3000, 3100. I like that from my man Don Kim. Chris Taylor goes yard from Craig Osterberg. We got Anderson, player of the game. Got to give Belli some credit too. We got, let's jump back here with the Mets. Who? From Diane Schroeder. Yeah, what happened to this mighty Mets team? This Mets team that was assembled by Stephen Cohen, the billionaire, and They're modeled after the Dodgers, and yes, they've had a really good run of late. They're right up there with the Dodgers for best record in the National League. Dodgers just had them by a little bit of a win percentage heading into this one, and heading into this matchup, they were averaging 8.5 runs per game in their last 9, and what has this Dodgers pitching staff done? They've held them to 1 run in 2 games. We saw the brilliance from the great Catsby yesterday. Tony Gonsolin, what he was able to do, he's been fantastic. The way he's using that slider against righties, curveballs against lefties, working that split change, pounding the zone, attacking the zone. You love to see that from Tony Gonsolin. To me, that's the big difference with him, is he's not nibbling, right? There's not the catnip. He is attacking the zone. He's pitching to contact. He's missing barrels. He's inducing soft contact, relying on his defense, which is a good thing when you have an outfield like Cody Bellinger, who can basically get to everything. I mean, Cody Bellinger covers more ground than a Roomba in a mansion. You got Mookie Betts and Chris Taylor making a fantastic play. And then tonight, you have Tyler Anderson, who's just been on a tear. Tyler has been on a tear of late. But my question to you guys is, do you think that he can sustain this? Do you think that Tyler Anderson is going to be a guy that can put up these types of numbers all season long? Did you have an issue with Doc pulling him after 6 innings and just 81 pitches? Let me know down below, because I think Gonsolin has proven that he is for real. Is Tyler Anderson the same guy? I think he is as well. Can you just imagine that? What if I told you in the off season that Tyler Anderson, a guy that kind of signed that little $8.5 million deal, and then they signed Andrew Heaney to a little $8 million plus deal, and then Tony Gonsolin, a player that was the much maligned Tony Gonsolin, the Dodger fans, they just want to throw away. They now had no business being the starting rotation. Well, those have been the best pitchers on the Dodgers, along with Clayton Kershaw before he went out, whereas Julio Urias and Walker Buehler have really struggled to look like those frontline starters that we all expected them to be. But what if I told you that in the offseason? That's why baseball is a different sport, man. Football, love it. Basketball, live for it. Live for football and basketball. Trust me, I'm a junkie of those sports too. But baseball is the most unpredictable sports. You're not going to see that in any other sports, where Tyler Anderson, Tony Gonsolin, and you got these guys just stepping up out of nowhere. So it's really great, and really credit to Gomes and Andrew Friedman and the Mark Pryors and Connor McGinnis and everyone else with his Dodgers development staff. But here we go. Jump into the comment section. Tyler, the human changeup Anderson. Yeah, I think he talked about it. I mean, he talked about it the other day. The way he went back and he reverted to an older grip, it's allowing him to get more depth on that changeup. You're seeing it start to have more of a vertical break. It has that looping action, and it's so effective for him. And I think that was such a big difference for him. And he's just more familiar with it. And like I said, when he uses it in the bottom of the zone, he just drops it in there. And you're seeing a 92-mile-per-hour fastball appear like it's a 95, 96-mile-per-hour fastball to hitters, because, like I said, he's slowing them down just to speed them up, and the variation really keeps hitters off balance. And that's what you love to see with Tyler Anderson. This guy is a pitcher. He's not a thrower. He's out there. You see him executing pitches, and he's fun to watch. I mean, I love the deception. I mean, with the whole leg kick deception, I almost want to stutter when I'm saying his name. It's like Tyler Anderson, and he's going to the plate. But yeah, guys, let me know down below in the is he for real? On a scale of 1 to 10, what's your trust level in Tyler Anderson? Let's get into this comment section. We'll go rapid fire right now. But Goose and TA just keep doing what they've been doing all year. That's from Damien Damien Kemitani. I'm going to try to get that right. Daniel Lawrence M., the bopper, with the home run tonight. Yeah, it was great to see Cody Bellinger go deep, because Cody Bellinger is a guy that he can get rolling. He can really find that power. And, I think tonight, I think that you saw, too, the kind of pitches you want to see him attack. And that's another thing that was so important, because if pitchers are going to pitch and throw pitches in his happy zone, he's got to take advantage of that. He has to jump on mistakes and attack pitches that he knows he can drive, and he did just that. And we saw that in the bottom of the second inning. So bottom of the second inning, a 3-2 count. Justin Turner hits a leadoff single to right. A very nice piece of hitting. He's another guy that a lot of people said that they were washed and that they were done, and he's really picked it up. So you love to see that as well. So Justin Turner, he's able to get that single there in the top of the second. And then next batter up with JT at first. No outs, First pitch to Cody Bellinger. He goes deep to make it 2-0 Dodgers. His 6th home run of the year, 103.5 miles per hour off the bat, 388 feet. A little cutter down in his happy zone, kind of leaks over the middle of the plate, and he just drives it. He takes it deep. By the way, shout out to the fan who made that catch, man. Nice catch out there in the right field pavilion, and he was feeling it. I read his lips. He's giving some LFGs to the crowd. So, yeah, I mean, living everyone's dream, making that home run catch. So that puts the Dodgers up 2-0 there, and we know this Dodger team, they get a lead early on, they're usually going to have a lot of success. So that's definitely what you want to see. But here we go, back to the comments section. We got Ruben Moreno, Santa Maria 805, Iris K, Tony Stopper Gonsolin, and Tyler Cy Young Anderson. Wow, I mean, hey, look, to me, there's no question about it at this point. When you look at what Tony Gonsolin has been able to accomplish, really it was just kind of about him starting to qualify for him starting to qualify really for any of these as a starting pitcher. But when you look at his numbers and what he's been able to do, there's no question that he is on track to be an all-star, to be selected to his first NL All-Star team. If you look at his numbers, a 1.59 ERA, first in the National League, a .88 WHIP, that's second in the senior circuit, and opponents are hitting just 159 off Goose. So yeah, there's no question that he's tracking to make his first All-Star team. And like I said, who would have predicted that at the beginning of the season? My friend Brooks Smith, he said on a show we did that he was going to be the best number 4 or 5 starter in the league, and Brooks Smith's looking like a very smart man at this moment in time. But here we go. We got Jonathan Robles. Doug, what do you think of Kevin Pillar? Jonathan, I think it's very unfortunate what happened to Kevin Pillar because he's a guy that, like I said, he's not a guy that you expect to have a major impact at this level in the batter's box because, look, for the majority of his career, he's been a below-average bat, and that's just how it is. But he's a guy that can make highlight plays defensively. He can lay out for catches, and I think when you consider the fact that we've had some guys go down, it's nice to have Kevin Pillar ready to go because he has big league experience. And look, I remember during spring training, I was in the clubhouse when he walked in, and I didn't even know that they had signed Kevin Pillar to a minor league deal. I was like, is that Kevin Pillar? But he had tears in his eyes, and the reason for that is he was so excited and appreciative of the opportunity that the Dodgers had afforded him to get back to this big league level for a team that he grew up loving. So it was a big deal for him to play for the Dodgers. But hey, unfortunately, he fractured that shoulder. He's going to miss significant time, and we'll see what happens. But really, you just hate to see it. And look, that really kind of comes with the territory, with the way he plays his baseball, the kind of the positions, the way he goes about his work. He kind of plays with some reckless abandon. So he's a guy that has dealt with some injuries in the past, but I wish him a speedy recovery. And yeah, thankfully, you got guys like I think Zach McKinstry showing out tonight, hitting that bomb. That's going to be big because let's not forget that before Z-Mac, from D-Mac to Z-Mac, I have to say, before he went out with that oblique injury last season, he was one of the Dodgers' best hitters. He hit the Dodgers' first home run of the season, unless you want to count Bellinger's home run that went through Raimel Tapia's glove. That should have been a home run, but hey, I digress on that one. But Zach McKinstry, he was supposed to be that guy that filled Kike Hernandez's shoes as this super utility man. I think Z-Mac, Zachary the Attackery, can go in there and he can perform well. And I think that he's a guy that defensively, he leaves a lot to be desired, but offensively with the stick, he can really get it going. And he's had a nice year down in AAA. But Jonathan Robles, we got Damian. Belli looked very comfortable up there in all his ABs. Yeah, you make a great point right there that it wasn't just the home run. You saw Cody Bellinger. He's seen the ball much better than he has recently, and especially last year. But I think the great thing for Cody Bellinger goes 1 for 3. He also draws that walk there, and I think that he's in a good place where he's starting to really get comfortable at the plate, see pitches that he knows he can drive, kind of knows his limitations with laying off those breaking balls low and away, laying off those fastballs up in the zone, and really just looking for pitches that he knows that he can drive. And I think for Bellinger, the biggest key is getting himself into hitters' counts and not burying himself early in the count like we saw last season, because last season it felt like the first pitch, it was already 0-2. He's down the count, and he's chasing pitches elevated out of the zone and sliders away. So hopefully he can continue this and build on this home run, because I think Cody Bellinger is a guy that you know the type of defense he plays, and when you got, like we said, we're talking about Tyler Anderson, Tony Gonsolin, a lot of these pitchers that that will get you those ground ball outs, that will get you those fly ball outs. You want to have a stout defense behind you, and Cody Bellinger is just that. But hello, D-Mac, watching from Cabo San Lucas tonight. What up, Diane Schroeder? Always rocking with us. I mean, I feel like you're always in Cabo San Lucas. I don't know what you do for a living, but you're living your best life, and I really appreciate that. I'm happy for you. But Gary A., Dodgers getting bit by the injury bug again. Gary A., yeah, make no mistake about it. There is going to be the attrition. There is going to be the injury bug. And like I said last season, it felt like an episode of Squid Game where guys were just going down. And you saw all the injuries start to pile up so quickly. But I think that that's what separates the elite organizations with the good teams, or the elite organizations with the non-contenders, is the depth they have, not just on their 26-man roster, but all throughout their 40-man roster at the big league level and down in AAA. And we're seeing that today. I mean, when you have a guy like Zach McKinstry that can come up and hit a home run in his first at-bat, that really speaks to that depth that the Dodgers do have. Now, the most important thing is that it looks like Clayton Kershaw, that based on everything you hear, that he is really in a good place and he's close to making his return. Andrew Heaney, he's not far away. So I think that, yes, the big blow from the high leverage standpoint, from the reliever standpoint, is losing their high leverage guy in Blake Treinen, and there's a lot of questions as to whether or not he'll return this season. But the fact that Daniel Hudson, he's really looked the part. He's improved. He's a guy that's really found that fastball, and I like the way he's going out there, and he's dominating hitters at times, and he's getting big key outs. You saw him get that save last week against Arizona. Craig Kimbrell, lots of concerns about him, but he gets that big save. You see his velocity trending in the right way. You see his release point on that breaking ball look much better depth, much better control on that curveball. So I think Craig Kimbrell is a guy that can still be one of the better closers in Major League Baseball. But yeah, when you lose, I think the player that the Dodgers are really going to miss is going to be Max Muncy. And I don't mean that Max Muncy is going to be out for the season or going to be out for a few months, but I'm talking about Max Muncy of old. I'm talking about pre-torn UCL Max Muncy, the guy that can get you 35 bombs a season, the guy that is your most prolific thumper. And I think that if Max Muncy can't look like that guy and he's looking like a shell of himself this entire season, it's really going to hurt this Dodgers lineup. And I think that my hope is that he really just hit that reset button. He's kind of just taking a deep breath and kind of just really just tinkered with that swing and just kind of found a way to just get that finish back, because that's what you're missing with Max Muncy. So I think he's a guy that when you talk about injuries, that is very unfortunate. But yeah, to see Zach McKinstry, to see Cody Bellinger, who really kind of was going through it himself. I mean, not a lot of people talking about it. And I think that's the great thing about having Bellinger down in the order there, is that he was dealing with that injury. He had that hamstring injury, that tightness. But even before that, Cody Bellinger was 10 for his last 40. So, I mean, not terrible. Definitely not terrible, but you want to see him pick those numbers up. But here we go. Down below in the comment section, Hudson looked fantastic. Yeah, Joey Medina. He's a guy that's pitching with a lot of confidence right now. You saw it last night. He goes in there. He gets the job done. And then you see it tonight with going multiple up downs, and he goes out there and Escobar flies to right. You saw Canna get that single, or you saw him, he struck out Alonso swinging there. And just look at the velo, 97-mile-per-hour fastball up in the zone, challenging hitters, really hitting in spots. Davis struck out swinging on that slider, bottom of the zone. Then Canna, he singles to right on that four-seam fastball. Really a nice piece of hitting. Kind of left it a little out over the plate, and he pokes one into right. But then he gets Escobar to fly to right using that fastball. So for him, it's just all about commanding the zone, avoiding throwing meatballs, avoiding leaving it out over the plate, and he's going to be just fine. I think Daniel Hudson is a true weapon. I think with Tommy Kahnle's future in big question right now, the uncertainty with Blake Treinen, I think they're going to lean on Daniel Hudson to be that high leverage guy. So, I mean, I think he's off to really take. I think he's a guy that he has the experience. He knows what the Dodgers need from him, and I think he's a guy that can get it done in that role. But we got Hudson is a treat to watch. That's from Gregory over on YouTube. Craig Osterberg, Zach Attack, Anthony Key, my man, and Tyler Anderson and Tony Gonsolin being our rocks in the rotation. Who would have thought? Anthony Keene, maybe the Anderson family and the Gonsolin family, but that's probably about it, right? I mean, I did a video on Tyler Anderson in the off season as a potential signing, and I said, hey, he's a guy that could be solid because even though he doesn't get a lot of punch outs, he does generate a lot of swing and miss in the zone. He does that because he has that dynamic pitch mix, and he has a lot of pitches that he can go to. And the changeup that you're seeing, I think the big difference for him is that changeup, and he's just commanding that fastball. He's hitting his spots, and you got to give the guy credit. Just 26 straight scoreless innings for Tyler Anderson. I mean, he's just in his bag right now. He's been phenomenal. And let's not forget that he's a guy that he started the year in the Dodgers bullpen, embracing a role as a long man, a guy that can get you multiple innings out of that Dodgers pen. And hey, he's the first. I'm not a big wins and loss guy. To me, that makes it doesn't do anything for me. Do you guys think, we're going to pose this question, you know how we get down. Do pitcher wins and losses mean anything to you? Are you a wins and losses person, yes or no? But if you are, Tyler Anderson is the first pitcher in Major League Baseball that has recorded 7 wins this season. And check this out. I'm pretty sure he didn't make his first start until late April. So he's been stacking up those dubs very, very quickly here. Cody Big Balls Bellinger back at it from Mike Jones. What up, Mike Jones? Mike Jones who? Back then, we're talking about people like Tyler Anderson. Back then they didn't want him. Now he's hot. They all on him, right, Mike Jones? Mr. First Cat, Andrew Corson, put some respect on Dustin May's name. Anthony Keene, baseball is the only sport where someone gets to truly change their narrative and reinvent themselves. That's from Anthony Keene. Yeah, I think you bring up a great point that baseball is very volatile from year to year, and due to injuries, due to the size of rosters, guys get more opportunities than, let's say, some other sports where, they flame out, they usually flame out. But yeah, it's a great point because, look, we talk about pitchers, they don't grow on trees. And if you've proven that you can at least be a big league capable starting pitcher or reliever, you're going to get more opportunities. But what's up with Will? That's from Justin Mack. So when it comes to Will Smith, yes, he hasn't. He had his, let's be honest, he's had his struggles of late. I don't know if it's the whole situation with him and Chris Rock and Jada Pinkett Smith and getting kicked out of the academy and things like that. But no, I'm just playing. When it comes to Will Smith, the baseball player, in his last 13 games, he has a 616 OPS. He's slashing 159, 321, 295, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, 11 strikeouts to 11 walks. Now, love you, Doug. Make Hudson our closer. Hey, I love you back, BC, my man. Loving the rat emojis. Yeah, give me those rat emojis. We're going to talk about this rat situation because I have some thoughts on that, and we're going to trust me, we are going to break that down right now. But when it comes to Will Smith, this is what you need to know. One, if you look at his hard hit percentage, it's practically identical to last year. If you look at how he's hitting against fastballs, that number is down compared to last season, but the expected slug is about the same. If you look at his BABIP, under 300. So when you talk about a guy like Will Smith, he's a guy that is due for some regression, and I think it's only a matter of time until he starts squaring up balls in play and he starts going off for some more home runs. Currently on the year, still a 110 WRC plus, but he's a guy that he's cut down that strikeout rate from 20.2% to 16.6% this season, but he just needs to really have a little bit better luck. I mean, a 245 BABIP, like I said, if you look at those expected slug numbers, which basically, of course, is a number that's based on quality of contact, and the quality of contact is telling us that he should be seeing better results. So in due time, he's going to see those results, and I think for him, it's just adjusting to getting that cleanup spot, to having that role and that responsibility of going up there and getting it done. I think Will Smith is definitely capable of it. To me, if you look at the fact that he's not chasing pitches outside of the zone, you're not really seeing bad at-bats from Will Smith, but he's a guy that he goes 0 for 3 tonight, does have the 1 walk, saw some hard contact, but he's a guy that he's going to get it going. But let me ask you guys that question down below. Do you think that Will Smith should be hitting cleanup? If not, who do you want to see in the cleanup spot for your Dodgers? Isaac Lopez Johansson. What up, D-Mac? What a day. Today was a good day, hopefully for you guys too. Today was my last day of my freshman year of high school. Finished with a 4.0 and celebrated with pizza and a Dodger win. Well, Isaac, I'm going to give you a let's go Dodgers. And let's go, Isaac, man. You're doing the damn thing. And, hey, man, what a great day for you, man. Congrats, 4.0. That is that is not easy to get, man. I mean, what's your WAR at? I mean, if your GPA is 4.0, I want to know what your WAR is. Is it like 9.6? I mean, come on, that's what we're more focused on here. More focused on WAR than GPA. But hey, man, congratulations, man. Congratulations. Hopefully, your parents get you like a Dodgers jersey, tickets to a game, or they give you a bunch of money to spend on the super chat. Who knows? Now I'm just playing, man. But Isaac, congrats, dude. Go Dodgers. Austin Lambert, the Dodgers have more depth than last year by a mile. Yeah, not only do they have more depth, you have more big league depth, more experience. I think Hanser Alberto is a guy that you like to see in that Dodgers dugout. But like I said, you lose. You weren't expecting to have Edwin Rios go down with a significant hamstring injury, and then also Max Muncy. Not only is he injured, it's the fact that he doesn't look like Max Muncy. So yes, there is better depth, but you also just lost Kevin Pillar. So we'll see. I mean, you got Eddie Alvarez coming up, so we'll see if he can perform well. So it can get bad really quick, but like I said, we're not seeing the Luke Rayleys, we're not seeing the Sheldon Noiseys, we're not seeing the Matt Beatties, who Matt Beatty's been awful. So I definitely like the depth, and also wouldn't put it past the Dodgers to maybe pick someone up. We saw the surprise Albert Pujols addition towards the end of May last year, so I definitely think that if it appears that they're going to lose guys significantly, if they're going to lose some of these guys to significant time, that they might make some moves to just kind of to tighten up the margins there. But I think having Zach McKinstry hit that home run tonight, that was definitely a very promising and encouraging sign for what he'll be able to do with the bat. Because you just love to see what he was. And we're going to talk about that too. Zach McKinstry, bottom of the fourth inning, on a 3-2 pitch, Cody Bellinger hits a ground ball to short that gets under the glove of Escobar, and it was scored as a base hit, but then I think they changed it to an error, so it took the definition is if it takes an extraordinary effort to get to the ball, it shouldn't be ruled an error. But after that, CT3, he struck out on a sinker, and then on a 2-2 count, Zach McKinstry hits a 2-run shot to make it 4-0 Dodgers, another cutter that leaks middle, and Z-Mac crushed it. That made it 4-0 Dodgers. So nice 2-strike hitting there, bottom of the order, and that's definitely going to be great for his confidence getting up here and kind of like proving that he's a big leaguer. Because I think the struggle with a lot of these guys is there's some of that self-doubt. Like, am I truly a big leaguer? Do I belong at this level? And I definitely think he is a guy that belongs at this level when you look at his bat-to-ball skills and his hit tool. His defense really has been the question. I mean, outfield defense really isn't his calling card. I'm not saying he's a Matt Beatty-level defender, but we were expecting a little more from him from the glove. But if he can pick up the slack on the offensive end with the stick, I think that that's going to do a lot for him being in there. And today you saw him in the DH spot, so you don't have to worry about the defense when you're DHing, right? So he goes 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Let's do a little box score report. Today, Mookie Betts goes 1 for 4. Freddie Freeman goes 1 for 4. So it's nice to see Freddie Freeman get a hit today because he's been definitely struggling of late. I'm not worried. If you want to talk Freddie Freeman, let's look at Freddie Freeman of late. In his last 15 games, he's slashing 238, 304, 365 with a 669 OPS. Fredericks of Hollywood, Anthony Kane. I think with him, it's just working through a slump, working through a typical middle of the season or first part of the season. I think we're at the 30% mark, 35% mark, something like that. I think that that's just your standard little baseball slump, and he's a guy that knows how to work his way out of slumps. I mean, he got off to a really slow start last season. He actually had a little slump in the postseason and was able to get it going. So he's a guy that he always knows how to identify these little issues with his swing and with his approach, but I think that's the most important thing with Freddie Freeman. He's not going to go out there and try to swing his way out of a slump. He's going to go out there, he's going to keep his same approach, he's going to try to hit to all fields, try to hit line drives to the shortstop, and he's going to get out of this and he'll go on a nice run too. But I mean, he's kind of late on fastballs. You saw tonight him go down on that sinker, looking a little befuddled. I think that for him, it's just kind of the same situation we've seen with some of these hitters this year, where they get down the count early on and then they're kind of backed up on fastballs. But here we go. Dodgers spending $310 million and $47 million tax. Looks like money well spent to me right now. That is from Brulio Estrada Jr. Yeah, I think that you gotta look, man. If you want to make money, if you got to spend money to make money. In this Dodgers organization, they realize that, and you're seeing that this is a franchise that they sell out so many games. They have the best attendance in baseball. They have, it's actually you know how many people, I actually have this number because I was doing some on Dodger Stadium. Over 174 million people have watched baseball games at Dodger Stadium. That is the record. The Dodgers actually have the record as the most attended baseball team in history. That's from the Guinness Book of World Records, and that's from 1901 up until now. So my point is that this Dodger team realizes, Dodgers organization, they understand the value of investing in their product, and they do just that. But here I like this comment from we got IB Strokin, no need to rush Kersh back. I think that when you talk about bringing Clayton Kershaw back, I think the thing that Kershaw did that we haven't seen consistently with Julio Urias or Walker Buehler, even Tony Gonsolin, Tyler Anderson, is his ability to miss bats at a high level. I mean, Clayton Kershaw was missing bats, and that is something that comes at a premium. And how does he do it? Well, one, he's elite when it comes to tunneling that slider and that four-seam fastball, keeping hitters off balance, and you see him mixing in that occasional curveball, the Cooperstown curveball. But I think when it comes to Clayton Kershaw, I mean, before he went down, a 29.4 K percentage and a 2.8 walk percentage in 30 innings pitched. So that is elite, and I think that you don't want to rush him back, but on the same token, you want to have him get in there and have him go out there and try to give you 5-6 innings, give you those quality starts, and you don't want to miss too much time, because if you do that, you put yourself in a position where you could risk injury, right? Because you're someone like Clayton Kershaw, you want to stay warm. You don't want to get that back to get too tight and too cold, and I think that Kershaw knows his body better than anyone. He knows how it works with the training staff. He knows when he's ready to go, and I think at this point in his career, he's not going to rush back if he thinks that it's going to risk further injury, and I think the organization knows that as well. They want to see Kershaw in the stretch run. They don't want to have what happened last year happen again, where he goes down before the postseason. So I think the positive sign with Kershaw is that it's not something to do with his arm. It's with that back. It's an injury that pretty much happens every single year at this point, and really just a matter of him giving the green light and getting back out there on the mound. Because look, if he has the feel for that slider, he's going to give you quality. So I'm actually excited to see him back out there. But here we go. LFG Catman is feasting on hitters. That's Mr. Seabad. Yeah, I mean, he's been fantastic. I mean, what more can you say about Tony Gonsolin other than the fact that he's like everyone, all the Tony Gonsolin haters right now are like Homer Simpson just going back into the bush, right? Because they are just silence at this point. And I think with Tony Gonsolin, the cat has become a lion this year, and he's been absolutely fantastic. To me, there's no question that he's on track to make his first career All-Star team, and he is for real. And I think the difference with Tony Gonsolin is the fact that he isn't afraid to attack hitters, to challenge hitters in the zone, because he realized at this point that, hey, I have that slider, I have that curveball, I have that split change that's one of the most dynamic and unique pitches in baseball, and when you pitch to contact and you're inducing soft contact and you're missing barrels, that you can be very effective even if the ball hits the bat. And then also you're seeing big punch outs when he needs them as well, and I think you're also seeing the velocity get better and better. I think the big issue last year was the big diminished velocity, and a lot of that was due to the fact that he had inflammation in that shoulder. I mean, we were seeing him pump 96 in 2020 when he won Baseball America's Rookie of the Year. Last season, he was touching 93 and just didn't have the same late life and electricity to it. But pound the zone, Tony Gonsolin, use that split change, and look, they're trusting him more. They're allowing him to face batters for the third time around in the order, and I think that the trust that they're putting in him is also helping him to become a better pitcher. And the same thing with Tyler Anderson, who's on a 26-inning scoreless streak. He lowered his ERA to 2.59. That whip is .95. His strikeout to walk ratio is 53-6. So 53 punch outs to 6 walks. And I don't know if you're a big numbers guy, but that's a pretty simple one, and that is very good. So Tyler, the outs creator, continues to get it done for the Dodgers. But is Will Smith in trouble? I definitely would say no. I mean, Will Smith, if you look at his stats, I mean, he's a guy that is due for some regression. He's still hitting the ball hard. He's still not chasing. He's still taking his walks. He's still out there making good contact. It's just a matter of him really getting it going, and I think that you're seeing sometimes with Will Smith, like we saw tonight. I mean, in certain counts, you want to see him drive the ball and not jump on some pitches earlier in at-bats just to kind of get himself going. But here we go. We got Tyler. I mean, look, see that foul ball. He hit that thunderous foul ball that just went fouled in the left field line. But Tyler Anderson has been just incredible. Street closed Rios. Wow, ouch. By the way, how wacky is this Mets team? I mean, you have Francisco Lindor hurt his finger in a door and couldn't play it. I mean, I guess he's not day to day. I guess he's door to door. I mean, what is up with that? I mean, Francisco Lindor. I mean, that's just a wacky story. And then I want to get your thoughts because you guys know. I mean, let's jump ahead and talk a little more about this game because I want to talk about the bottom of the seventh. So bottom of the seventh inning, Lugg struck out looking on a sinker, 1 out. Then on a 1-1 count, Mookie Betts singled to left, a changeup on the out of third, and Mookie just went out and got it. Kind of hung there, hit it off the top of the barrel, gets a base hit, and then with 1 out, Freddie Freeman goes down swinging, a little late on the sinker there. And then with the right-handed Trey Turner, Buck Showalter, he goes to Nogosek. And then on the 1-1 pitch, Betts advances to third on a wild pitch by Nogosek. Then Mookie was going on that 1-2 ball. He gets away with it. Mookie gets all the way to third. So heads-up base running by Betts. And then on the 2-2 pitch, Trey Turner hits a ground ball up the middle. McNeil tries to make a backhanded attempt, but Trey beats the throw, and the Dodgers plate another run to make it 5-1 LA. So they pick up that insurance run there, makes it 5-1. And hey, man, we've heard so much about this mighty Mets team, right, that's been scoring all these runs of late. Well, they've gone quiet. It's 6-1. It goes 5-1 at that point. The Mets offense really not doing very much. And then in the bottom of the eighth inning, the Dodgers add another run after Chris Taylor goes deep. So Chris Taylor, bottom of the eighth inning, a 3-1 pitch, a 3-2 pitch. He takes a cutter deep, and that makes it 6-1 LA. So Dodgers offense gets it done. You saw Tyler Anderson. He gets it done once again. 26 straight. By the way, let's try to guess this. Let me throw some. We'll talk a little more about Tyler Anderson too. Some other at bats. I kind of want to talk about on this one. I think if you look at, 1-2-3 goes 1-2-3 in the first. 1-2-3 in the first, and you saw 2 strikeouts. So he gets Lindor to fly to left. Then he gets Marte looking at that four-seam fastball, and then he gets the four-seam uses the four-seam fastball to get Nemo swinging. So I think that to get Nemo swing on that four-seam fastball, so you saw, like I said, hitters there aware of his changeup, and like I said, he's slowing him up just to get it by him on that heater. So it's really a cool thing to watch is a pitcher use his breaking stuff to set up that fastball and vice versa. And I think another nice key at bat too was he gives up that leadoff single to Escobar, and then hey, it was easy. McNeil pops to shortstop, gets Nito to fly to right, and he gets Nemo to ground to second. So really lots of soft contact, not a lot of high stress innings. You didn't have runners on third base really at all. One runner in scoring position all night against him. So really, he was just fantastic. And then we jumped to, if you jump to the bottom of the fifth inning, Davis gets that leadoff single, and then what happens next at bat? He used that sinker, goes to the sinker, and he gets Canna to ground into that double play, and then gives up the single to Escobar, and then he goes to that cutter to get McNeil to pop to third. So like I said, he's executing so many different pitches to get his outs, and that's what makes it so fun to watch. But here we go. If you told me at the beginning of the season Anderson and Gonsolin were the Dodgers' best pitchers, I would say you're smoking peyote. Got to give you that one. That's from Too Bad Rad Chad. The Zach man. Wow, what a way to make an impact after being recalled from AAA. That's from Alvin Estrada. Yeah, to see Zach McKinstry come up and have an impact right away, I'm telling you, man, ZMac_LA. Anthony Keene, I still like pitchers wins, but it's definitely harder to gauge. But being solid enough to go at least 6 and get the W, it shouldn't be ignored. Stan, the Rams fan, I don't worry about Freddie or Will Smith and Justin Turner. I just don't. Keibert Ruiz is playing better. We got Francisco. Anderson could have easily gone 7 or 8. Glad bullpen didn't blow it. That's from BC. Yeah, I think that when you consider the lead, when you consider the fact that Anderson has been carrying of late, I think that you're okay with the fact that you go to that bullpen. Now we got to talk about Yency Almonte, who he basically left a sinker out over the plate, and Pete Alonso, he hit it like 10,000 feet in the air. Now a polar bear, they're scary bears, okay? And you leave a sinker that they can eat, they're going to do that. So that was the case during that at bat, and I think you want to keep 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 pouring water. You want Yency Almonte to grow, right? You have to water your plants, and I think that you got to throw him out there in situations and build a routine for him. And I think when it comes to Tyler Anderson, he's a guy that he's pitched so well for the Dodgers. He's a guy that has stepped up when he wasn't expecting Kershaw to go out or Andrew Heaney or some of these injuries, and just to step into that role and seamlessly take care of business. I think that you just got to give him all the credit in the world. And I think if you look at if you look at Tyler Anderson, just kind of going back in his last 4 starts, he's gone 7 where he gave up 2 runs, had 7 punchies, no walks. Then follows that up with that 8-inning outing against the Nationals, no runs, 8 punchies, no walks. Last start, 6 innings, no runs, 6 punchies, 1 walk. Tonight, 6 innings, no runs, 5 punchies, no walks. So you're seeing the consistency there. You're seeing quality outings pretty much each and every start that he's taken over since April 23rd as a starter. I mean, had that one hiccup there against Philly where he gives up those 5 runs, but he still ended up going 7 in that game. So, yeah, he's a guy that's been really outstanding for the Dodgers, and you really couldn't have asked for anything more than what he's been able to do. But like I said, the big key, punch-outs. Not a lot of high-stress innings, not walking guys. Out there, he's a strike-throwing machine, and you know what I call him? Tyler, the outs creator. But here we go. If Bellinger can be a 75% of the 2019 Belli, this is easily the best lineup in the bigs. I agree with that. I'm going to give you a Let's Go Dodgers. I agree with YouTube user Iris K. I feel like more chemistry in this Dodgers team. This team feels very special. Ryan O'Ryan Montes. I think that there's something to be said when it comes to chemistry, when it comes to feeling happy about the success of your teammates. And I definitely feel that more this year. I mean, last year, you had the team coming off that World Series win. All this pressure saying that they're going to be the greatest team ever with the addition of Trevor Bauer and some of the guys that they signed. And I do think last year they had nice chemistry, especially when you brought Albert Pujols aboard and you had L.A. Theo doing the hug celebration. But I think this year, I've never seen Mookie Betts happier than this year. And I think when Mookie Betts is healthy, he's of course a different player, and he was dealing with injuries last season. But you see in the dugout, you see after Chris Taylor hit that home run today, he's all smiles. And Mookie Betts, he truly enjoys the success of his teammates. He wants to see everyone thrive. He wants to see everyone do well, and that really helps Mookie Betts. So I think the fact that Mookie Betts is having a great time and he is your franchise player, that's why I think the chemistry is better. Also, Trey Turner, we saw when he joined the team, he was performing well. He was fantastic playing at an all-star level, but he looked like a robot out there. You didn't see very many facial expressions. He got in that little argument with Max Scherzer where they were just playing around the dugout, but I think this year you're seeing more smiles from Trey Turner. You saw him massaging Freddie Freeman, a little more camaraderie in that Dodgers dugout. And I'll tell you, in the clubhouse too, these guys, they're all about their business. They're a very professional team, and they know that is a team that's expected to win a World Series. So I think one thing they do well is they ride the ebbs and flows of a season. But yeah, great chemistry on this team. There's no doubt about it, and I definitely agree with that take. Moose 1032, Freddie is a rock. Yeah, not worried about Frederick Freeman at all whatsoever. I still think that, yeah, I mean, he's still a guy that's probably going to make the All-Star team as well. So, I mean, absolutely. But to stand the Rams fan, Dodger Stadium is loud as F. Yeah, I mean, Dodger Stadium rocks, man. I'm telling you, man. I've been to a lot of stadiums. I've been to a lot of sporting events, but playoff time, when Dodger Stadium is rocking, there's nothing like it. That place literally shakes, okay? It's like we're in the land of earthquakes. It really feels like there's an earthquake when it's going down. I mean, just look at Belli's home run last year against the Braves. I know the Dodgers lost that series, but, yeah, I think when you talk about this, by the way, I want to get your takes on this, man. I want to get your takes on this. So Mike Puma at New York Post _Mets. He's a Mets beat reporter that covers the Mets for the New York Post. He tweeted out yesterday, Mets aren't thrilled with the working conditions at Dodger Stadium. According to one Met, the video room is dingy and smells like rat urine, says it's far below MLB standards. What do you make of this? Because, look, I've heard a lot of good things about the amenities that the Dodgers provide, especially after the Guggenheim Group took over. I mean, if this was the McCourt era, I think, oh, yeah, man, this guy's probably telling the truth. But what are you guys' thoughts on that? Saying that the Dodgers' working conditions in the stadium, it smells like rat urine. Last time I checked, they didn't play the Astros this year. So I mean, how could it smell like rat urine? I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's people trying to say it's a dump and all this stuff, but I just think the fact that a guy from New York is talking about rat piss. I mean, come on. I think he just probably still has rat piss in his clothes or something from when he packed up in New York, because he probably, I don't know. I mean, that's probably what it's about. But here we go. Cody didn't look comfortable after he was interviewed after the game. You see he's kind of shy. Hey, Doug, what is a JAG? That is what Clint calls the reclamation projects. Tyler, JAG, that's a good question, David Luna. I'll have to ask him. But Ryan, imagine how much the tax bill would be if we get Soto. But yeah, I mean, if you really want to tie your tax up into 40 guys, 40% of your luxury tax into a couple of players, it's not really a good move. So I'm very anti the idea of trading for Juan Soto. I think that maybe if an opportunity presents itself in free agency, that you make a run at him then. But to me, this team, their success or failure this season is going to be from pitching. I mean, if starting pitching can get it together, if guys can stay healthy, if guys can perform well, if the bullpen can get healthy and execute well, and you don't have Walker Buehler, Julio Urias, and Max Scherzer, who's not on the team anymore, run out of gas or have their arms pass away in the postseason, they're a team that's going to win the World Series. And look, Clayton Kershaw didn't even pitch in the postseason. So kind of when you look back at last season, it's almost a small miracle that they made it as far as they did. But here we go. Moose 1032, I will admit it, I doubted Tony, and I'm sorry for that. Tony deserves some respect. Yeah, and here's my message to MLB. If you're watching this from MLB and you're in the social media group and you guys are the Instagram and the MLB this and the MLB that, there are some players other than Fernando Tatis and Shohei Ohtani in Major League Baseball and Aaron Judge, even Mookie Betts at times, but he's worth it. Now, you guys got to show Tony Gonsolin some love. I mean, he's already marketable. He has the whole cat thing going. He's more interesting than like 60% of baseball players already. So show Tony Gonsolin some love. Get it out there on the socials. Let him know that he's first in the National League with his 1.59 ERA. Let him know that he's a great story, a guy that was a converted pitcher, and he's really found a way to have an impact on this Dodger team. So yeah, but here we go. Pika Pete. Buehler just needs to throw smarter, not harder. Time for him to start using his secondaries as much as that four-seamer that the league has already zeroed in on. Yeah, I mean, if you look at that four-seam fastball, it was a top 6 pitch in all of Major League Baseball. It was the number 6 most effective four-seam fastball in baseball last season. Now that number's in the 300s. I mean, it has fallen off tremendously, and we've kind of talked about this quite a bit as well, but this year, his four-seam fastball, a 373 average against with a 340 expected batting average, a 642 slugging percentage with a 689 expected slug. Also, if you look at his four-seamer, only a 7.8% K percentage. So yeah, if you look at his numbers up and down, it's just it's very concerning. I mean, it's definitely a pitch that, like I said, his four-seamer is basically a piñata this year. That's how opponents are treating it. And to me, it's not necessarily about the diminished velocity. It's about the command. I mean, every time, if you guys follow on your phone when he's throwing that pitch, just see where the catcher's set up and where that pitch ends. And I think that, like you mentioned, to your point, I think that there is a little over-aggressiveness on Buehler's part when it comes to throwing that pitch because he wants it so bad. Nobody wants it more than Walker Buehler, okay? This guy wants to be great. He wants to win the Cy Young. He wants to be a Hall of Famer one day. This guy has ambitions to be a great all-time pitcher, and I think that it is at a point where I think when you're out there, it can hurt your pitching ability when you're trying to give 110% on every single pitch. You kind of have to go with the flow sometimes and take a little bit off when it comes to the stress level, because it's almost like when Roger Federer talks about tennis players and how tennis players, when they overgrip their tennis racket, when they're too stressed, you don't hit the ball hard. It's when you hit the ball hard is when you loosen up that grip on that tennis racket and you kind of hit it with more momentum. So I think that, to your point, if you would just take a little bit off and kind of get a little more poise and kind of dial it down and take a deep breath, that he could see some better results. But yeah, here we go, guys. It's a Friday night. I know you guys are doing your thing. Let's get a couple more comments. I want your takes on the rat situation. Rios on the IL. We got why, what happened. Not to beat a dead horse, but Boy Bauer could sure be used right now. It's from Gary A. Ari Swerdlow in the parking lot. A good game. Friday night fireworks are dope. What up, Ari? How you doing, my man? Let me give you a let's go Dodgers. Friday night fireworks. We got to Mets announcer, Shea Stadium is now a parking lot. Dodger Stadium is still a shrine. Take that, losers. Mr. Seabed, I'm going to give you a finisher because you straight up killed that. My man, Mike Jones, who got to give Roberts some credit for how good the team is every year. He's not the best strategical manager, but he manages the players personally well. I mean, yeah, I think that's a really good take when it comes to the essence of how Dave Roberts manages this team. It's not about the tactical moves that he makes, because he will get outmanaged at times. We've seen it at times this year, but you also see him really get the most out of his players when it comes to an effort level. And I think that you won't see him get the credit for certain moves that he makes. I think that a lot of people will point to him leaving pitchers in, or not leaving pitchers in long enough during starts. And I think that, you could point to the Kershaw perfect game in the first couple weeks of the season if you want to talk about that. And look, there were some plays. You saw kind of how Kimbrel's been managed. Not going to Kimbrel enough. We've seen this lineup. This lineup is tailor-made by him, but for the most part, I think Dave Roberts, when you look at it, really has managed this team well this season. But yes, Doug, exactly. We're seeing what Mookie is like when he's 100% healthy and happy. The way tables have turned on him now that he's being an NL MVP favorite is crazy. Jay Silva, Anthony Keene, the dude is tripping about the rat comments. Put a name with that rat quote. Yeah. Rats are in a visiting dugout. Yeah, Craig Osterberg. Diane, easy. Mets are sore losers. Rat piss is back there in NY. Bring up Michael Bush. Facts hurt your feelings. Damian Camonte, my friend, used to play for the Indians, and when they played here, he said the visiting clubhouse was unreal and amazing, and he knew the Dodgers side was even better. Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things. I talked to some Reds players when they were playing the Reds, and I was covering a game, and look, Dodgers are pretty much first class across the board. McCord definitely cut some costs, but they did a lot of renovations. But I can't believe that. Come on, piss. Tony Gonsolin, future All-Star. Bro, MLB social media team needs major help. Missed opportunities everywhere. Love Tony the Tiger from Diane Schroeder. King Yellowman, elbow cough. ML, by the way, not coughing anymore, guys. Remember that? That was pretty terrible. Otani is overrated AF from Facts Hurt Your Feeling. Don Kim, Buehler's fastball will catch fire again like butane. C4H10. You're bringing those numbers down. I like it. Meow. That's from Jose. Yeah, hey, man. The time is meow for the Catman. Tyler didn't give up any walks. Exactly, man. Hey, D-Mac, what up with hitters getting to Gratterall's fastball at 102 miles per hour? Stan, the Rams fan. Think when it comes to Gratterall's fastball, it's a hittable 102. And the reasons for that is he doesn't have that big extension, right? Imagine if you had Craig Kimbrel's extension, who he's basically 5'11", 6 feet, and he's coming at you like he's like 6'5". And it's a very short extension, but also he's accurate. He throws strikes, so he throws that 102 mile per hour fastball in the zone. Also, not an incredible amount of movement on it, but what it does is it induces soft contact. So I know it just sounds strange. I know it feels like the natural thing would be that the faster you throw, the more likely it would be that you're going to miss bats, but that isn't the case against big leaguers, right? These guys are the best hitters in the world. They're the best at what they do, and they could time up a rocket ship. And you're seeing that with some of these hitters, but Brusdar Graterol is trending in the right direction. But here we go. Tony Gonsolin, Hall of Famer. Gerardo, you're getting crazy, but I like it. And I'm going to give you a hot take sound. Can you guys hear the fire? Let me know. What a burn on Shea Stadium. Ryan, that was really nice. That was my take of the night by my man. I agree, Dong. He's coming with it tomorrow. That's from Moose. What's with all these glass shoulders? We got I really want to see Walker and Julio pitch well this weekend. Yeah, I think going up against this Mets team, against this Poland lineup, they can both put together really nice quality starts and start to look like the pitchers that we know they're capable of being. Julio Urias had a really nice start against the Nationals. I think it's about Walker Buehler going out there being effective and just not being overconfident with that four-seam fastball. If you're going to throw it, you better command it. Don't leave it out over the plate, and that's what they've been doing. And I think that they can't have that overconfidence in that pitch. They have to, like we've talked about, kind of go to those secondary pitches, work the edges, kind of like we saw Tyler Anderson. He works those edges on a masterful level, and I think that they could learn from him. And I think that you're not going to see Tyler Anderson, Tony Gonsolin kind of challenge hitters in the heart of the plate with a fastball, because they know what's gotten them in trouble in the past and what could get them in trouble right now. So I think that definitely that's what I want to see Buehler tomorrow. I'm very interested to see his attack plan. I think that for him, you're going to see a lot of cutter. You're going to see a lot of knuckle curve, but really, can you see him use that fastball to kind of set up those pitches and locate that fastball? So it's going to be very interesting to see how he bounces back after that rough start against the Pirates. But Hudson has yet to fail us. He's a stud. That's from Seth Gribble. Nico B, that rat piss smell is Mr. Scherzer's dead arm. Yeah, man, keep it going. We got to get the W tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, man. Like, it's just really funny that that guy would go out there and tweet that. I mean, to me, like I said, I think to me, most likely, it was a nice move by the Dodgers. I think what the Dodgers said was, we're going to be an accommodating organization. We're going to make them feel like home. And they probably got gallons of rat piss, probably New York rat piss, imported all over the dugout, all over the road facilities, just so the Mets would feel like they're at home. So clearly, it just didn't work that way because the Mets, they've been getting dominated in this series. The Dodgers holding them to just one run in the first two games, and tomorrow they look to get the series win against the not-so-mighty Mets. But let me know down below in the comment section. A couple final thoughts from you guys. You guys have any hot takes, any burns? Let me know, and I'll let you guys enjoy the rest of your Friday night. I'm going to be at the game tomorrow covering the game, so if you guys have any questions you want me to ask any of these players, fire away. We'll be in the mix tomorrow, so look out for some content from there. Buehler is a spider tack merchant. That's from Justin Lamas. I've discussed that at length. Pretty much tons of pitchers across the board are pitchers that have benefited from the use of spider tack. But it's not that he can't be an effective pitcher because, look, the longer you hold on to the ball, right, the more control you're going to have. Also, that spin rate is going to give you that perceived rise, and that was his best pitch. And that was the pitch that he dominated hitters with, and he doesn't have that right now. So, yeah, you'd have to be absolutely naive and delusional not to say that he hasn't been effective in a negative way without the use of that spider tag. So here we go. Justin Lamas bingo. You think Buehler's issues could be mechanical, Jose? Jose, I actually do. I do think that the fact that he has lost, I think that too, one thing people aren't talking about, I know we're going a little long here, but it's Friday night and I feel all right. The party's here on the west side. But I think the thing, too, with Walker Buehler is, look, he was one of 4 pitchers last season to throw over 200 innings. He's a guy that wants to put the team on his back. And I think that coming off that shortened season, throwing so many innings, I think that took a toll on him. And I think you also saw him pitch on short rest in the postseason as well. So, look, that definitely took its toll on Walker Buehler. I have no doubt about it. Same thing with Julio Urias, who pitched a career high in 185 in the third innings in the regular season, and more in the postseason. So I think that when you talk about those two guys at a young age kind of proving to themselves they can carry such a big load, I think the workload has been an issue. But to answer your question, do I think it's something mechanical? I think the fact that you're seeing him try to open up and throw more cutter, throw more knuckle curve, throw more changeup slider, and you see these different arm slots, I do think that's kind of affected the way he throws his fastball. So I do think that there could be a mechanical issue from an arm slot angle and a release point. So I think that there could be something to that. But yep, guys, that is going to do it for tonight's show. Appreciate you guys rocking with me here on a Friday night after the Dodgers get the dub against the Mets. My house kind of smells like rat piss. I'm going to complain to the Dodgers. No, I'm just but we have Mookie in right, Paul Smith, Moose. It's still early in the season. Buehler will put it together. Our pitching coaches and Walker too good. Peek-a-peep. Soto's all wrong for the Dodgers. Better hitter than a fielder. Can't have that in this current Dodger outfield. But to have a great time covering the game tomorrow. Would have loved to do it back in the day. Yeah, UK, it's not too late. Let's do it. Thanks, Doug. Another great show. Thanks, Damian. Kiss. Man, don't make me dream. I really want Soto. Thanks again, D-Man. Hey, Jay Silva. Thanks, guys. Good night, Dodgers Nation. Good chat, Doug. Peek a peek. Appreciate Doug. Thanks. All right, yeah, thanks, guys. As always, next time I smell rat piss, I'm going to say it smells like the Mets. I love it. D-Mac, need to know how people come up with their walk-up songs. Yeah, I've talked to Justin Turner about that. He's told me that the way he comes up with his walk-up song is whatever he's listening to. He listens to a bunch of songs on the ride back from spring training, and that's how he usually picks one. But, yeah, I think a lot of the guys, they consult DJ Severe, some guys. The Gavin Lux is always, bumping the new stuff. I like what Mookie's done this year. It's funny that you mentioned that. Let's just shout out to, peace out, Nico B. Have a great night. Crush some Modelos tomorrow, D-Mac. I definitely will. I pretty much always do. I'm wondering if Mookie Betts went to shoulder lean. I wonder if that's like there's something in his swing that he needs that to. If the song is reminding him of some kind of good habit with the shoulder, I don't know. I don't know if I'm onto something, but Chris Taylor likes Dua Lipa, ha ha ha, yeah. And I think it's gonna be. Yeah, he loves his Dua Lipa. He loves his surfing. He loves his beer. But thanks a lot, Jay Silva, NYM. Go Rats, equal Rats. I'd be stroking D-Mac, Coach Schroeder, Anthony Dong. Yep, guys, see you next time. Enjoy the rest of your night. Dodgers get the dub. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. For all latest Dodgers news, rumors, hype videos, and more, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. And if you want to see us post even more Dodgers content, you really want to support the channel, smash that like button. As always, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
It's time for